no crowds, but that weather is a crowd. When you're on that sideline in between plays, you certainly are thinking about what it feels like on those toes and those hands. And on top of that, think about the teams that they will be playing coming out of the conference, where they're warm weather teams, dome teams. And then when you think about the AFC, I think it's Pittsburgh because of the rest. I think they need rest. They haven't had a real bye week thus far this season.
I would agree with you on Pittsburgh and the AFC. Look, they had 3 games in 12 days, right? They lost 2 of those games. I think that's challenging for a team that needs to get healthy and needs to get back on their feet, regroup, regathered, and stay disciplined, as Mike Tomlin would say. And then in the NFC, Key, I would go with the Saints. Just because I know with Green Bay you're talking about the weather and being at home, but with the Saints, it's about getting healthy. If I could buy Drew Brees as much time as possible, I need to do that. I don't know if those ribs are medium rare, if they're medium well, or if they're well done yet. I don't know what they are. I'm trying to wait for them to get well done as possible in order for him to come back and throw and give my team the best chance of winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you want him to get healthy, but think about it, Jay. If Drew Brees had to go to Green Bay with those ribs in that freezing cold, leaving that dome in that warm climate, just imagine what that would feel like. Or Tampa Bay Bucks going to Green Bay, or the Los Angeles Rams going out of that dome going to Green Bay, or Seattle. It gets a little nippy in Seattle, but not like Green Bay, having to go all the way to Green Bay in play.
No doubt about it. Jay mentioned the Saints, so on that tip, we're asking this morning on the Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin Nation on the Dr. Pepper Twitter feed, who needs that 1 seed more, Packers or Saints? Early returns, 55% of you have said New Orleans, including at Mills Daddy 99, who hit us up and kind of accentuating something that Jay said here on the back end of his comment. Saints outside the dome hurts a lot, and Drew Brees needs rest if they're going to win. Hit us up with your thoughts, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776, Key J and Z on Twitter. Who needs it more? Saints, Packers, a little role reversal with Green Bay now sitting atop the NFC. Fellas, want to mention before I go into the next one that Phillip Rivers is now in his 17th NFL season. 16 with the Chargers, 1 with Indy. So it's 17 in the rear view mirror. Phillip Rivers will play fill in the blank more years in the NFL.
I would say 3. He'll get to 20.
3 years, Key? You're giving him 3 years?
I'm giving him 3. So he's gonna get the 2 that he's still gonna be solid and dominant, and then he's gonna get that 1 where he's just kind of like, here we go again, Phillip Rivers. That's what they're gonna do. I'm telling you, because he's playing out of his mind right now. It'll carry over into the next year. Then he'll slightly fade in year 19, and then he'll fall off a cliff in year 20. But he gets the rocking chair. He gets the send away.
I would probably say 2, Key. My man is like a statue in the pocket. He's a legit statue in the pocket. He gets a hit the wrong way.
No, the reason you're right about 2. I gave him 3 because that 20-year mark, right? That just, you're at 19, you might as well push to get to the 20 and be able to say it sounds better, I played 20 years versus 19. It just sounds better.
So the question wasn't as a starter, right, Zubin, just playing. So a backup QB role in year 20 could be playing. Okay, then I may be with you, Key. I think it's a monumental mark to hit. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I'll say 2 things. If he hits 20 or not, no matter how long he plays, at this particular point, Phillip Rivers is the most statistically accomplished quarterback to never play in the Super Bowl. So that's the one carrot out there, but the numbers are amazing. And to Jay's point, obviously he doesn't need the money, and he has openly said he wants to coach his son playing high school quarterback. He's a quarterback just like Dad himself. So it remains to be seen if he would wait around in a backup role, being a starter for all those years, or just go hit the high school field and coach his kid.
You know he accepted a high school coaching job already.
Yeah.
He's already accepted it, so I guess it's just wait and see now.
Right, and let's see if his son has the howitzer Phil has.
You know what gets me a little bit mad as an athlete, Key, and it's something that you can't run away from, especially if you didn't win a Super Bowl, that we love to tag on stats where there's always that caveat, like he's the most statistically, successful quarterback in the history of the game, not to win a quarterback. Damn, that's something to follow you every day of your life as an athlete, ain't it?
Yeah, that's why it's important to get one.
Here's the thing.
No matter how you get it.
Right. Part of the reason, though, I would say that, and I totally agree with you, Jay, it's sort of like a scarlet letter you have to carry around even though you don't deserve it. Part of the reason I would say that is that if he is on the precipice, like teetering on the Hall of Fame, anything that could go in your direction would help. Because I think if you talk to a lot of people around the NFL, they'll say Phil is a Hall of Famer, but I think you'd be surprised how many people would say he's uber close. But if he doesn't get that Lombardi, anything else he can get can certainly push him in that direction.
He's going in the Hall. It just won't be day one. That's all.
And that's the thing. If you could do anything to accentuate your odds, right?
Man,
you
day
might as
one,
well.
day 10, long as you win.
You got a gold jacket, right? You're in that club. Here we go. The NFL MVP, obviously Canton is full of them. The NFL MVP right now, key is fill in the blank.
Patrick Mahomes still. Still Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers is right there, but it's still. Even with the 3 interceptions last week against Miami, it was almost like, okay, we're going to spot y'all this. We're going to do y'all a favor just to make the TV ratings exciting and have everybody thinking y'all getting ready to beat us. Hey, Tyreek Hill, run down there, man. I'm going to throw you the ball. We go roll. That's kind of what it was.
I would still go Patrick Mahomes. I'm with the key. Aaron Rodgers is right there, though. He's coming. With the way they're finishing, though, he's coming. It's going to come down to the wire down the stretch, but I still would have Patrick Mahomes with a slight lead, considering he has 33 TDs and only 5 NTs this year.
There's no doubt about it. How fun would it be to go back to our earlier discussion? Maybe Mahomes MVP and Travis Kelce Offensive Player of the Year with those two connections. Here we go. Last one. The most disappointing team in the NFL this season has been fill in the blank.
Easy.
It's easy for me. It's the Minnesota Vikings. I picked the Vikings to win the division at the beginning of the year because I thought that moving on from Stephon Diggs and adding Justin Jefferson out of LSU was going to be a hit, which it was. I also thought that getting Ngakoue in the fold would be big for them on the defensive side of the ball. You got Dalvin Cook, you got Thielen, you got Rudolph, you got Irwin at the tight end spot. So when you start to think about some of the pieces on the offensive side of the ball and Gary Kubiak calling plays, I'm like, oh, Minnesota got this. And then all of a sudden they scratching and clawing just to be able to sniff a playoff spot, just to sniff it.
That's an interesting one. I don't know how it's not the Dallas Cowboys. And maybe it's because we're part of the media train, seeing how everybody gets on board every single year. You talk about how talented of a team they are. I know they lose their quarterback in Dak Prescott, but we are also having conversations about, is Andy Dalton the most talented backup quarterback there is in the NFL? In the NFL. Like, this was an ongoing debate. So people were still giving Dallas hope. I just think that their defense has been so lackluster, has been disappointing. You haven't been getting the kind of season you want out of Ezekiel Elliott. They're losing games to people they shouldn't be losing to. DiNucci's coming in there. I think just the whole season in entirety has been a huge disappointment for Dallas. A huge disappointment for Dallas.
Poor DiNucci. He's never going to live that one down.
No doubt about it. And we should mention the Cowboys, to Jay's point, have just 4 wins, tied for fewest in the NFC with Atlanta, who had expectations, and Carolina, who was in a full rebuild from day number 1. You don't want to be in company with those two, especially since Atlanta let go of their coach and GM. A reminder, Keyshawn J. Will Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. Why Milwaukee might be more important to Giannis than Giannis is to them.